Welcome to English Silver.
Emotional adjectives and conversations. Exasperated. Extremely annoyed or frustrated.
Why is this printer always broken?
I'm so exasperated with it. We should just get a new one. Apprehensive. Anxious or fearful about the future.
Are you ready for your presentation tomorrow?
I'm a bit euphoric. Extremely happy or overjoyed.
How do you feel after winning the competition?
I'm absolutely euphoric. It's like a dream come true. Indignant. Feeling anger or annoyance at something unfair.
Did you hear what happened at the meeting?
Yes, I'm indignant. They didn't even consider my input. Bemused. Confused but slightly amused.
Did you understand the instructions?
Not really, I'm still bemused by the whole thing. Resigned. Accepting something unpleasant without protest.
Are you okay with the changes at work?
I don't like them, but I've resigned myself to the fact that it's happening. Distraught. Deeply upset or agitated.
You seem really upset. What happened?
I lost my wallet, I'm so distraught. Skeptical. Doubting the truth or value of something.
Do you believe the rumors?
No, I'm skeptical. It doesn't seem right. Overwhelmed. Feeling like something is too much to handle.
How's everything going with the new project?
Honestly, I'm overwhelmed by all the tasks. Wistful. Longing for something in a slightly sad way.
You've been quiet lately. What's on your mind?
Just feeling a bit wistful about the past. I miss those days. Exhilarated. Feeling very excited or energetic.
How was the skydiving experience?
I was exhilarated. It was the most exciting thing I've ever done. Disillusioned. Disappointed because something is not as good as you expected.
How do you feel after watching the movie?
Honestly, I'm disillusioned. I expected much more from it. Complacent. Self-satisfied, often unaware of potential dangers.
You don't seem worried about the upcoming exams.
I guess I've become a bit complacent. I should probably study more. Incredulous. Unwilling or unable to believe something.
Did you hear that they won the lottery?
I'm incredulous. It's hard to believe they were so lucky. Exasperated. Extremely annoyed or frustrated.
Why does the internet keep disconnecting?
I'm exasperated. We need to fix this once and for all. Elated. Very happy or proud.
How did you feel when you got the job offer?
I was elated. It's my dream job. Dejected. Feeling sad and without hope.
What's wrong? You look down.
I didn't get the promotion. I'm feeling really dejected. Pensive. Deep in thought, often in a serious or reflective way.
You've been so quiet today.
I'm just feeling pensive, thinking about some big decisions. Agitated. Feeling nervous or disturbed.
You seem upset. What's going on?
I'm agitated because of all the noise. It's so distracting. Baffled. Extremely confused or puzzled.
Do you understand why they canceled the event?
No, I'm baffled. There was no explanation. Yearning. A deep longing for something.
Why do you keep looking out the window?
I'm just yearning for some fresh air and freedom. Vexed. Annoyed or worried.
Are you okay? You seem upset.
I'm just vexed by all the delays. Astonished. Very surprised or amazed.
Did you see their reaction to the news?
They were astonished. No one expected that. Forlorn. Feeling sad, lonely, or abandoned.
You've been sitting alone for a while.
I feel so forlorn. Everyone seems to have moved on without me. Resentful. Feeling bitter about something unfair.
Do you think they treated you fairly?
No, I'm still resentful about how they handled the situation. Awestruck. Filled with awe and wonder.
How did you feel when you saw the Grand Canyon?
I was completely awestruck. It's such an incredible sight. Cynical. Believing that people are motivated purely by self-interest.
Do you trust their promises?
Not really, I'm a bit cynical about their intentions. Despondent. Extremely unhappy and without hope.
You seem really down today.
I'm despondent. Everything seems to be going wrong lately. Gratified. Feeling satisfied or pleased.
How do you feel after the meeting?
I'm gratified that my ideas were accepted. Peeved. Annoyed or irritated.
What's bothering you?
I'm a little peeved that they didn't invite me to the meeting. Contemplative. Deep in thought, especially about serious matters.
You've been quiet today.
I'm feeling contemplative, thinking about some changes I need to make. Hesitant. Unsure, slow to act because of uncertainty.
Have you decided whether to take the job offer?
I'm still hesitant. There are a lot of factors to consider. Disgruntled. Unhappy and dissatisfied.
Why do you look so upset?
I'm disgruntled because I didn't get the raise I was expecting. Infuriated. Extremely angry.
How did you feel when they blamed you for the mistake?
I was infuriated. It wasn't my fault at all. Intrigued. Very interested and curious.
Have you read the new mystery novel?
Not yet, but I'm intrigued. Everyone's talking about it. Mortified. Extremely embarrassed or ashamed.
How did you feel when you tripped on stage?
I was mortified. I wanted to disappear. Appalled. Horrified, shocked, or disgusted.
Did you see the news about the accident?
Yes, I'm absolutely appalled by what happened. Piqued. Feeling irritated or resentful.
You seem a bit off today. What's wrong?
I was piqued when they ignored my suggestion. Ecstatic. Extremely happy or excited.
How did you feel when you got the acceptance letter?
I was ecstatic. I couldn't believe it. Perturbed. Anxious or unsettled.
You don't look relaxed. What's going on?
I'm a bit perturbed by the sudden changes in the schedule. Embittered. Feeling resentful or bitter.
Why do you seem so upset about the past?
I'm still embittered by how unfairly I was treated. Astounded. Extremely surprised or shocked.
Did you hear about her winning the contest?
Yes, I was astounded. No one saw that coming. Melancholy. A deep sadness or feeling of gloom.
You seem quiet today.
I've just been feeling a bit melancholy lately. Disenchanted. Disappointed or dissatisfied with something previously admired.
How do you feel about your job now?
Honestly, I'm disenchanted. It's not what I expected. Apprehensive. Anxious or uneasy about something in the future.
Are you looking forward to the exam?
Not really, I'm quite apprehensive about it. Flustered. Nervous or confused, especially under pressure.
You seem all over the place today.
I'm feeling flustered with so many things to do. Exultant. Triumphantly happy or joyful.
How did you feel after winning the match?
I was exultant. It was such an amazing feeling. Bitter. Feeling angry or hurt due to unfair treatment.
Are you okay with what happened?
Not really, I'm still bitter about how they treated me. Fretful. Feeling or expressing worry or distress.
You've been pacing around all morning.
I'm just feeling fretful about tomorrow's meeting. Deflated. Feeling less confident or disappointed.
You don't look happy. What's wrong?
I feel deflated after that criticism. It really got to me. Irked. Slightly irritated or annoyed.
You seem a bit off today.
I'm just irked by how long the meeting lasted. Bewildered. Confused and unsure.
Do you know what they meant by that comment?
No, I'm completely bewildered. It didn't make any sense. Placated. Calmed down or soothed after being upset.
Is he still angry about the situation?
No, I managed to placate him after we talked it out. Enraged. Extremely angry, furious.
How did you react when they insulted you?
I was enraged. I couldn't believe they said that. Entranced. Completely captivated or fascinated.
What did you think of the performance?
I was entranced. I couldn't take my eyes off the stage. Tense. Feeling nervous or anxious.
You seem really tense today.
I'm just worried about the deadline. There's a lot to do. Reluctant. Hesitant or unwilling to do something.
Have you made your decision yet?
I'm still reluctant to commit. It's a big decision. Depleted. Exhausted or drained of energy.
How are you feeling after the long day?
I'm completely depleted. I need to rest. Humbled. Feeling modest or respectful, especially after realizing one's limitations.
How did you feel after receiving that award?
I felt humbled. It was such an honor. Reassured. Feeling less anxious or worried after receiving comfort.
Are you still nervous about the interview?
No, after talking to you, I feel reassured. Envious. Feeling jealous or desiring what someone else has.
Did you see your new car?
Yes, I'm a little envious. It looks amazing. Discontent. Dissatisfied or unhappy with the situation.
How do you feel about the new policy?
I'm quite discontent. It doesn't seem fair to everyone. Scornful. Showing strong disapproval or contempt.
How did she react to the news?
She was scornful, like she didn't care at all. Aggravated. Annoyed or made worse.
Why do you look so irritated?
I'm aggravated by all the noise around me. Uneasy. Feeling uncomfortable or worried.
Are you excited for the trip?
I'm a bit uneasy about flying. I don't like airplanes. Astounded. Shocked or amazed.
Did you see the magic trick?
I was astounded. How did they do that? Proud. Feeling deep satisfaction or accomplishment.
How do you feel about your son's achievement?
I'm so proud of him. He worked really hard. Rattled. Unsettled or shaken by something.
You look a little shaken. Are you okay?
I was rattled by that sudden noise. Flabbergasted. Extremely shocked or surprised.
Did you hear about the sudden promotion?
I'm flabbergasted. I didn't expect it at all. Sorrowful. Feeling deep sadness.
How are you feeling after hearing the bad news?
I'm sorrowful. It's such a tragic situation. Indifferent. Having no strong feelings or interest.
How do you feel about the outcome of the game?
I'm indifferent. I didn't really care who won. Devastated. Overwhelmed with grief or shock.
How are you holding up after hearing about the accident?
I'm devastated. It's hard to believe what happened. Jubilant. Extremely joyful and triumphant.
How did you feel after winning the tournament?
I was jubilant. It felt incredible. Exhausted. Very tired, physically or emotionally.
You look really tired.
I'm exhausted after working all night. Nostalgic. Feeling sentimental about the past.
Why do you keep looking at those old photos?
I'm feeling nostalgic. Those were good times. Perplexed. Completely confused.
Do you understand the instructions?
No, I'm perplexed by what they meant. Content. Feeling satisfied or at peace.
Are you happy with the way things are?
Yes, I'm content. I wouldn't change a thing. Agitated. Nervous or unsettled.
Why do you seem so restless?
I'm agitated because I can't stop thinking about the test tomorrow. Sympathetic. Feeling compassion or understanding for someone.
How did you react when she told you about her problem?
I was sympathetic and tried to comfort her. Horrified. Extremely shocked or disgusted.
Did you hear about what happened at the restaurant?
Yes, I was horrified by the whole situation. Puzzled. Confused or unsure.
Do you know why they changed the schedule?
No, I'm puzzled by the decision. Frustrated. Feeling annoyed or upset because of difficulty.
How's the project going?
I'm frustrated. Nothing seems to be working out. Grateful. Feeling thankful and appreciative.
How do you feel about all the support?
I'm so grateful for everyone's help. Suspicious. Having doubts or distrust.
Do you think something's wrong with the deal?
I'm a bit suspicious of the offer. It seems too good to be true. Furious. Extremely angry.
How did you react when they canceled at the last minute?
I was furious. They should have told us earlier. Startled. Surprised or shocked.
Did you hear that loud noise just now?
Yes, I was startled by it. Ashamed. Feeling embarrassed or guilty.
How do you feel about what happened?
I'm ashamed. I didn't handle that well. Affectionate. Showing love or warmth.
How does your dog behave around you?
He's always so affectionate, following me everywhere. Impatient. Unable to wait patiently.
Are you excited for the concert?
Yes, I'm impatient. I can't wait any longer. Disheartened. Feeling discouraged.
How do you feel about the feedback on your work?
I'm a bit disheartened. It wasn't what I was expecting. Hopeful. Feeling optimistic or positive about the future.
Do you think you'll get the job?
I'm hopeful. I think I've got a good chance. Worried. Feeling anxious or troubled.
Are you okay? You seem concerned.
I'm worried about the test results. I hope everything is okay. Relieved. Feeling reassured after a worry.
How did you feel after hearing the good news?
I was so relieved. I've been worrying all week. Disgusted. Feeling a strong sense of dislike or offense.
Did you see what they served at the party?
Yes, I was disgusted. It looked terrible. Optimistic. Feeling hopeful and confident about the future.
How do you feel about the new project?
I'm optimistic that it will be a success. Embarrassed. Feeling awkward or self-conscious.
How did you feel when you slipped on stage?
I was so embarrassed. Everyone was watching. Tearful. Feeling like you're about to cry.
Why do you look upset?
I'm just feeling tearful after watching that sad movie. Insecure. Lacking confidence or feeling uncertain.
Are you sure about your presentation?
Not really, I feel insecure about my speaking skills. Bored. Feeling uninterested or impatient.
Are you enjoying the lecture?
Not really, I'm bored. It's not very engaging. Determined. Feeling motivated or resolute to achieve something.
How do you feel about your upcoming goal?
I'm determined to succeed no matter what. Diaries. Exasperated. Today was incredibly frustrating. I spent almost an hour trying to print my report, but the printer kept jamming. No matter what I did, it wouldn't work. I got so exasperated with it that I almost threw it out the window. Technology really gets on my nerves sometimes. Apprehensive. Tomorrow is my big presentation, and I'm feeling really apprehensive about it. I've practiced my speech, but I can't help worrying about what might go wrong. What if I forget what to say? I just hope it goes well. Euphoric. I can't believe it. I won the competition. I feel so euphoric right now, like I'm walking on air. It's such an amazing feeling to see all my hard work pay off. This is one of the happiest moments of my life. Indignant. I'm feeling so indignant today. During the meeting, they completely ignored my suggestions and didn't even give me a chance to speak. It was so unfair, and I'm still upset about how they treated me. Bemused. I received an email with instructions for a new project, but I'm still quite bemused by what they expect. The details are so unclear that I don't know where to start. I guess I'll have to ask for clarification tomorrow. Resigned. It's been a tough week at work with all the changes happening. I don't agree with everything, but I've become resigned to the fact that things won't go back to the way they were. I'll just have to adapt and move on. Distraught. Today was awful. I lost my wallet, and now I'm completely distraught. It had all my important cards and money in it, and I have no idea where it could be. I've retraced my steps, but no luck so far. I hope someone finds it and returns it. Skeptical. I heard a rumor today that our company is going to shut down, but I'm pretty skeptical about it. It just doesn't seem likely given how well we've been doing recently. I guess we'll find out if there's any truth to it soon enough. Overwhelmed. Work has been crazy lately. I have so many tasks to finish, and I'm feeling completely overwhelmed by the amount of pressure. I'm not sure how I'm going to get through this week without burning out. Wistful. Looking at old photos today made me feel a bit wistful. Those were simpler times when everything seemed easier. I miss the friends I used to hang out with and the carefree days we had. It's funny how quickly life changes. Exhilarated. I tried skydiving for the first time today, and it was the most exhilarating experience of my life. The rush of adrenaline as I jumped from the plane was incredible. I'm still buzzing with excitement hours later. Disillusioned. I finally watched the movie everyone's been talking about, but I ended up feeling disillusioned. It wasn't nearly as good as people made it out to be. The plot was predictable, and I expected something much better. Complacent. I've been feeling a bit too complacent lately about my studies. I keep thinking I'm doing enough, but I haven't really pushed myself in a while. It's time to step up my efforts if I want to improve. Incredulous. Today, I found out that one of my colleagues won the lottery. I'm still incredulous. I can't believe something like that actually happened to someone I know. It seems so unreal. Exasperated. Today was incredibly frustrating. I had so much work to do, but the internet kept disconnecting every few minutes. I felt so exasperated that I wanted to scream. It's hard to stay calm when you're constantly being interrupted. We really need to find a permanent solution to this problem. Elated. I still can't believe I got the job offer. When I received the call, I was absolutely elated. This is the opportunity I've been dreaming of for years. I feel like all my hard work has finally paid off. I can't wait to start this new chapter in my life. Dejected. I've been feeling really dejected lately. I put so much effort into preparing for the promotion, but I didn't get it. It's hard not to feel like I've failed. I know I should stay positive and keep trying, but right now, I just feel lost and disappointed. Pensive. Today was one of those days when I couldn't stop thinking. I've been feeling very pensive about some big decisions I need to make. It's not easy to figure out what the right path is, and I've been lost in my thoughts, weighing all the options. Agitated. I couldn't concentrate on anything today because of the constant noise from the construction outside. It made me feel so agitated. I tried to block it out, but it was impossible to focus. I just hope it stops soon so I can get back to my routine. Baffled. I'm still baffled by what happened today. They canceled the event at the last minute without giving any reason. I had prepared so much for it, and now all that effort feels wasted. I wish they had at least explained why. Yearning. I caught myself staring out the window several times today, yearning for something different. I miss the freedom of going outside whenever I want, without worrying about work or responsibilities. I just want to feel the fresh air and escape the routine, even for a little while. Vexed. Today was frustrating beyond words. Every little thing seemed to go wrong, and I felt so vexed by all the delays and interruptions. I tried to stay calm, but it felt like nothing was working out as planned. I hope tomorrow is better. Astonished. I was completely astonished when I heard the news today. No one expected the company to announce such a big change. It's incredible how quickly things can turn around. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. Forlorn. I felt so forlorn today, sitting alone in the cafe. Everyone around me seems so happy and engaged, but I just couldn't shake the feeling of loneliness. It's like everyone has moved on with their lives, and I'm stuck in the same place. Resentful. It's been difficult to move past what happened. I still feel resentful about how unfairly I was treated. It's hard to let go of that bitterness, especially when I think about how much effort I put in and how little it was appreciated. I'm trying to move on, but it's not easy. Awestruck. Visiting the Grand Canyon was a surreal experience. I was completely awestruck by the sheer size and beauty of it. Standing there, I felt so small and insignificant compared to nature's grandeur. It's hard to put into words how incredible it was to witness such a breathtaking sight. Cynical. I've been feeling more cynical about people's motives lately. Today, someone offered to help with my project, but I couldn't help but wonder if they were doing it just to get something in return. It's difficult to trust people when you're always questioning their true intentions. Despondent. I'm feeling incredibly despondent today. Nothing seems to be going right, and I'm losing hope that things will get better. It's like I'm trapped in a cycle of bad luck, and I don't know how to break free from it. I just want to feel happy again. Gratified. I had a really productive meeting today, and I'm feeling so gratified. My ideas were not only heard but also accepted by the team. It's satisfying to see my hard work pay off and to know that my contributions are valued. It was a good day. Peeved. I was a little peeved today when I found out I wasn't invited to the meeting. I've been working on this project for weeks, and it felt like a slap in the face to be excluded. I tried not to let it bother me too much, but it was hard not to feel irritated. Contemplative. I spent most of the day feeling contemplative, thinking about some big changes I need to make in my life. It's not easy to decide on a new direction, especially when there are so many uncertainties. I just hope I can figure things out and make the right choices. Hesitant. I'm still hesitant about accepting the job offer. On one hand, it's a great opportunity, but on the other, I'm not sure if it's the right fit for me. There are so many factors to consider, and I don't want to rush into a decision I might regret. Disgruntled. Today was disappointing. I didn't get the raise I was expecting, and I'm feeling quite disgruntled. I've been working hard and delivering good results, but it seems like that wasn't enough. It's hard to stay motivated when your efforts aren't recognized. Infuriated. I was absolutely infuriated today when I was blamed for a mistake that wasn't my fault. I spent so much time and effort to make sure everything was done correctly, and to be accused like that felt completely unjust. I'm still fuming about it. Intrigued. I haven't started the new mystery novel yet, but I'm really intrigued by all the hype. Everyone seems to be talking about it, and I'm curious to see if it lives up to the expectations. I might just spend the weekend diving into it. Mortified. I was mortified today when I tripped in front of everyone during the presentation. It was so embarrassing that I just wanted to disappear. I know these things happen, but I can't help replaying the moment in my head and cringing. Appalled. I was absolutely appalled by the news of the accident today. It's horrifying to think about what those people went through. I can't even imagine the pain and suffering they must be experiencing. It's such a tragic event. Piqued. I felt piqued today when my suggestion was completely ignored during the meeting. I put a lot of thought into it, and to have it dismissed without any discussion was frustrating. It's hard not to feel resentful in situations like this. Ecstatic. I was ecstatic when I received the acceptance letter today. It's such an amazing feeling to know that I've been chosen for something I've worked so hard for. I can't wait to start this new adventure and see where it takes me. Perturbed. The sudden changes in the schedule left me feeling quite perturbed today. I had everything planned out, and now I have to adjust to these unexpected shifts. It's unsettling, and I'm worried about how it's going to impact my work. Embittered. I've been feeling really embittered lately, especially when I think about how unfairly I was treated in the past. It's hard to let go of that anger and resentment. I know I need to move on, but the bitterness is still there, lingering. Astounded. I was completely astounded when I heard she won the contest. No one saw it coming, not even her. It's incredible how she managed to surprise everyone like that. I'm so proud of her achievement. Melancholy. I've been feeling a bit melancholy these past few days. It's like there's a shadow over everything, and I can't seem to shake it off. I don't know why I'm feeling this way, but I hope it passes soon. Disenchanted. I'm starting to feel disenchanted with my job. What seemed exciting at first has now become monotonous and unfulfilling. I don't feel the same passion I once did, and I'm beginning to wonder if this is really what I want to do. Apprehensive. I'm quite apprehensive about the exam tomorrow. I've studied hard, but I'm still worried that I might forget everything when I'm under pressure. I just hope I can stay calm and do my best. Flustered. I was feeling so flustered today with all the deadlines and meetings. It felt like I was being pulled in 100 different directions. I need to find a way to organize my time better so I don't end up feeling so overwhelmed. Exultant. I was absolutely exultant after winning the match today. It was such a hard-fought game, and to come out on top felt amazing. I'm so proud of the team and what we accomplished together. Bitter. I'm still feeling bitter about how things ended. I know I should let go and move on, but it's hard when you feel like you were treated unfairly. I hope I can find a way to heal and leave this bitterness behind. Fretful. I've been feeling so fretful about tomorrow's meeting. There's a lot riding on this, and I'm worried that I won't be able to deliver what's expected of me. I just want everything to go smoothly. Deflated. I felt really deflated after receiving that harsh criticism today. It's hard to stay confident when your efforts are picked apart like that. I know I need to take it as constructive feedback, but right now, it just feels disheartening. Irked. I was so irked today by how long the meeting lasted. It felt like we were going around in circles without making any progress. I had so much other work to do, but I ended up wasting hours in that never-ending discussion. I hope they manage the time better next time. Bewildered. I'm completely bewildered after today's conversation with my boss. He made some comments that I didn't understand at all. I kept trying to figure out what he meant, but nothing made sense. I'm still confused and unsure about what I'm supposed to do next. Placated. He was really upset about the changes in the project, but I managed to placate him after a long talk. We discussed everything in detail, and he seemed to calm down once he understood the reasons behind the decisions. It was a relief to see him less angry. Enraged. I was absolutely enraged when I found out they had spread false rumors about me. I've never been so furious in my life. I confronted them immediately because I couldn't just let it go. I still can't believe they would do something so malicious. Entranced. The dance performance last night was mesmerizing. I was completely entranced and couldn't take my eyes off the stage. The dancers moved with such grace and precision that I felt like I was in a dream. It was truly a captivating experience. Tense. I've been feeling so tense lately because of all the deadlines at work. There's so much to do, and I'm constantly worried about not being able to finish everything on time. I need to find a way to relax and manage my stress better. Reluctant. I'm still reluctant to take on the new project. It's a great opportunity, but I'm not sure if I'm ready for such a big responsibility. I keep weighing the pros and cons, but I can't seem to make up my mind. I just don't want to rush into something I'm not fully prepared for. Depleted. After working non-stop for the past few days, I'm completely depleted. I've been running on coffee and adrenaline, but now I'm exhausted. I really need to take a break and recharge. I can't keep going like this. Humbled. Receiving that award today made me feel so humbled. I never expected to be recognized like this. It's an honor, but it also reminds me of how much I still have to learn. I'm grateful for the support and encouragement I've received from everyone. Reassured. I was really nervous about the upcoming interview, but talking to my friend really reassured me. She reminded me of all the preparation I've done and told me to trust in my abilities. Now I feel much more confident and ready to face it. Envious. I couldn't help but feel a little envious when I saw her new car today. It's exactly the model I've been wanting for ages. I'm happy for her, but I also wish I could have something like that too. I guess I'll just have to keep saving up. Discontent. I'm feeling quite discontent with the new policy changes at work. It seems like they're not taking everyone's needs into account, and a lot of people are unhappy. I don't understand why they didn't consult us before making such big decisions. Scornful. Her reaction to the news was so scornful, like she didn't care at all. It was frustrating to see how little she valued something that was so important to others. I don't understand how she can be so dismissive and unfeeling. Aggravated. I've been feeling really aggravated by all the noise in my neighborhood lately. There's constant construction, and it's driving me crazy. I can't concentrate on anything, and it's making me more irritable than usual. Uneasy. I'm feeling uneasy about the trip tomorrow. I've never been a fan of flying, and the thought of being on a plane for so many hours makes me nervous. I know it's safe, but I just can't shake this uncomfortable feeling. Astounded. I was absolutely astounded by the magician's performance. I have no idea how he pulled off those tricks. It was like he was doing the impossible right in front of my eyes. I'm still trying to figure out how he did it. Proud. I'm so proud of my son for winning the competition today. He put in so much effort and dedication, and it really paid off. Seeing him achieve his goals makes me feel incredibly happy and proud to be his parent. Rattled. I was really rattled by that sudden loud noise this morning. It sounded like something heavy had crashed to the ground, and it startled me so much that I couldn't focus for a while. I'm still a bit shaken up by it. Flabbergasted. I was flabbergasted when I heard about my colleague's sudden promotion. I had no idea it was coming, and it completely caught me off guard. It's great news for him, but I'm still trying to process it. Sorrowful. I'm feeling deeply sorrowful after hearing about the accident. It's such a tragic event, and my heart aches for everyone affected. It's hard to come to terms with such a devastating loss. Indifferent. I realized today that I'm completely indifferent about who wins the game. I used to be so passionate about it, but now it doesn't matter to me at all. I guess my interests have changed over time. Devastated. I'm absolutely devastated by the news I received today. It's hard to believe that something so tragic could happen. I feel overwhelmed with grief and don't know how to process it all. Jubilant. I was jubilant when I found out we won the tournament. All our hard work and practice finally paid off, and it felt amazing to celebrate with my teammates. It's a moment I'll never forget. Exhausted. I'm completely exhausted after staying up all night to finish the project. My mind and body are both drained. I just want to sleep for hours and not think about work for a while. Nostalgic. I spent hours looking at old photos today, feeling so nostalgic. Those were such good times, and I miss the people and places that were a part of my life back then. It's bittersweet to think about the past. Perplexed. I'm completely perplexed by the instructions we received today. I've read through them several times, but I still don't understand what we're supposed to do. I'll have to ask for clarification tomorrow because I can't make sense of it. Content. Today was a peaceful day. I spent some time in the garden and read a good book. I realized that I'm really content with where my life is right now. I wouldn't change a thing. I feel completely at peace with everything. Agitated. I couldn't focus on anything today because I've been so agitated thinking about tomorrow's test. No matter how much I try to relax, the anxiety keeps building up. I just hope I'm able to calm down before the big day. Sympathetic. My friend called me today to talk about some difficulties she's been facing. I felt so sympathetic toward her situation and did my best to offer comfort. I just hope my words were helpful in some way. Horrified. I was horrified when I heard about the incident at the restaurant today. It's shocking that something like that could happen so unexpectedly. I'm still in disbelief over the whole situation. Puzzled. I'm really puzzled by the schedule change at work. It doesn't seem to make much sense, and nobody knows the reason behind it. I wish they would explain their decisions a bit more clearly so we wouldn't be left guessing. Frustrated. I've been working on this project for days, and nothing seems to be going right. I'm so frustrated because no matter how much effort I put in, I can't seem to get the results I want. I just want things to go smoothly for once. Grateful. Today, I took a moment to reflect on all the help I've received recently. I feel so grateful for the support from my family and friends. I don't think I would have been able to manage without them, and I truly appreciate their kindness. Suspicious. I've been feeling a bit suspicious about the new offer I received today. It seems too good to be true, and I can't help but wonder if there's some hidden catch. I'll need to look into it more before making any decisions. Furious. I was absolutely furious when they canceled the meeting at the last minute. I had rearranged my entire schedule for it, and they didn't even give us a proper warning. It was such a frustrating situation. Startled. I was completely startled by the loud noise outside my window this morning. It was so sudden that I jumped out of my chair. I think it was just some construction work, but it really caught me off guard. Ashamed. I'm feeling pretty ashamed about how I reacted today. I lost my temper over something small, and I regret the way I handled it. I should have stayed calm, but instead, I let my emotions get the best of me. Affectionate. My dog was so affectionate today, following me everywhere I went and curling up next to me on the couch. It's amazing how much love and warmth he brings into my life. I feel so lucky to have him. Impatient. I'm feeling so impatient for the concert next week. I've been counting down the days for months, and now that it's almost here, I just can't wait any longer. I wish time would move faster. Disheartened. After getting the feedback on my work, I felt really disheartened. I had put in so much effort, but the response wasn't what I expected. It's hard not to feel discouraged, but I'll try to keep pushing forward. Hopeful. I'm feeling hopeful about the job interview I had today. I think I made a good impression, and I'm optimistic about my chances. I know I gave it my best shot, so now I just have to wait and see. Worried. I've been so worried about the test results that I can hardly think about anything else. I hope everything turns out okay, but the uncertainty is really getting to me. I hate feeling this anxious. Relieved. When I finally got the good news, I was so relieved. I had been stressing about it for days, and now that the worry is gone, I feel so much lighter. I can finally relax again. Disgusted. I felt completely disgusted by the food they served at the party today. It didn't look appetizing at all, and I couldn't bring myself to eat it. I don't understand how they could serve something like that to guests. Optimistic. I'm feeling really optimistic about the new project we're starting at work. It's a big challenge, but I have a good feeling that it will be a success. Everyone seems motivated and ready to put in the effort. Embarrassed. I'm still so embarrassed about what happened today. I slipped on stage in front of everyone, and I could feel my face turning red as I tried to laugh it off. I just hope people forget about it soon. Tearful. I watched a sad movie tonight, and by the end, I was feeling so tearful. The story was so touching that I couldn't help but get emotional. I was on the verge of crying the whole time. Insecure. I'm feeling insecure about my presentation tomorrow. I've practiced a lot, but I still don't feel confident in my speaking skills. I just hope I can get through it without stumbling too much. Bored. I've been sitting through this lecture for hours, and I'm so bored. The topic isn't very interesting, and I'm struggling to stay focused. I just want it to be over so I can move on to something more engaging. Determined. I'm feeling more determined than ever to achieve my goal. No matter how difficult things get, I know I can succeed if I stay focused and keep pushing forward. I won't let anything stand in my way. Stories. Exasperated. John spent almost an hour trying to print his report, but the printer just wouldn't cooperate. It kept jamming no matter what he tried. He got so exasperated that he nearly threw it out the window. He muttered angrily to himself. Frustrated that technology always seemed to fail him at the worst possible times. Apprehensive. Emily was feeling really apprehensive about her big presentation the next day. She had practiced her speech over and over, but couldn't shake the worry that something might go wrong. What if I forget what to say? She thought, her anxiety growing. She hoped everything would go smoothly, but the nerves were hard to ignore. Euphoric. When Mark found out he had won the competition, he couldn't contain his excitement. He felt euphoric, like he was floating on air. All his hard work had paid off, and he was overwhelmed with happiness. This was a moment he knew he would cherish forever. Indignant. During the meeting, Sarah's colleagues completely ignored her suggestions, not even giving her a chance to speak. She felt indignant and upset by the unfair treatment. How could they dismiss her ideas without even considering them? She left the meeting feeling hurt and frustrated. Bemused. After reading the email with instructions for a new project, Tom felt completely bemused. The details were so vague that he had no idea where to start. He reread the message several times, but it didn't make much sense. I'll have to ask for clarification tomorrow, he thought, still confused. Resigned. It had been a tough week at work for Linda. With all the changes happening, she didn't agree with everything. But she had become resigned to the fact that things were not going back to how they used to be. I'll just have to adapt and move on, she told herself, accepting that she couldn't change the situation. Distraught. When Rachel realized she had lost her wallet, she felt completely distraught. It had all her important cards and cash in it, and she had no idea where it could be. She retraced her steps but found nothing. I just hope someone finds it and returns it, she thought, feeling desperate and helpless. Skeptical. Michael heard a rumor that his company was going to shut down, but he was skeptical. It didn't seem likely, given how well the company had been doing recently. He shrugged it off, thinking, I guess we'll find out soon enough if there's any truth to it. Overwhelmed. Jessica had been swamped with work lately. With so many tasks piling up, she felt completely overwhelmed. She didn't know how she was going to get everything done without burning out. The pressure was intense, and she felt like she was drowning under the weight of it all. Wistful. Looking at old photos, David felt a bit wistful. Those pictures brought back memories of simpler times, when everything seemed so easy. He missed the friends he used to hang out with and the carefree days they spent together. Life had changed so much, and he couldn't help but feel nostalgic. Exhilarated. After trying skydiving for the first time, Lisa was exhilarated. The rush of adrenaline as she jumped from the plane was incredible. Even hours later, she was still buzzing with excitement. I can't believe I actually did it, she thought, thrilled by the experience. Disillusioned. After watching the highly anticipated movie, Brian felt disillusioned. Everyone had talked about how amazing it was, but he found the plot predictable and the characters shallow. I expected something much better, he thought, disappointed that it didn't live up to the hype. Complacent. Lately, Sam had become a bit too complacent with his studies. He felt like he was doing enough, but he knew he hadn't really been challenging himself. I need to step up my efforts if I want to improve, he realized, determined to push himself harder. Incredulous. When Jenny heard that her colleague had won the lottery, she was incredulous. She couldn't believe something so unbelievable had happened to someone she knew. It just seems so unreal, she exclaimed, still in shock over the news. Exasperated. Another frustrating day for John. This time, it was the internet that kept disconnecting every few minutes. He felt so exasperated that he wanted to scream. It was impossible to get any work done with constant interruptions. We really need a permanent solution to this problem, he thought angrily. Elated, Samantha was over the moon when she received the job offer. She felt absolutely elated. This was the opportunity she had been dreaming of for years. All my hard work has finally paid off, she thought, excited to start this new chapter in her life. Dejected. After not getting the promotion she worked so hard for, Lisa felt utterly dejected. She had put in so much effort, but it hadn't paid off. It's hard not to feel like I've failed, she thought, struggling to stay positive as disappointment washed over her. Pensive. Today, Daniel found himself lost in thought. He felt very pensive about some big decisions he needed to make. What's the right path to take? He wondered, weighing all the options. It wasn't easy, and he felt torn between different possibilities. Agitated. The constant noise from the construction outside left Tom feeling agitated all day. He tried to block it out, but the racket made it impossible to concentrate. I just hope it stops soon, he thought, irritated by the disruption. Baffled. When the event was cancelled at the last minute without explanation, Anna was completely baffled. She had spent so much time preparing, and now all her efforts seemed wasted. Why would they cancel without telling us why? She wondered, frustrated by the lack of communication. Yearning. Several times during the day, Jack found himself staring out the window, yearning for something different. He missed the freedom of being able to go outside whenever he wanted, without worrying about work or responsibilities. I just want to escape this routine for a little while, he thought longingly. Vexed. Today seemed to be filled with one problem after another, and Emily felt completely vexed. Everything was going wrong, and it was driving her crazy. Why does nothing ever go as planned? She thought, her frustration mounting as the day wore on. Astonished. Everyone was astonished when the company announced such a big change today. No one had expected it, and the news spread like wildfire. It's incredible how quickly things can turn around, thought Mike, still trying to wrap his head around the sudden shift. Forlorn. Sitting alone in the cafe, Maria felt so forlorn. All around her, people seemed happy and engaged, while she felt stuck in a place of loneliness. Everyone else has moved on, and I'm still here, she thought, a deep sadness washing over her. Resentful. Even though time had passed, Jason still felt resentful about how unfairly he had been treated. He had put in so much effort, and it had gone unrecognized. It's hard to let go of that bitterness, he thought, struggling to move past the sense of injustice he felt. Awestruck. Standing at the edge of the Grand Canyon, Lisa felt awestruck by the vastness and beauty of the landscape. She had seen pictures before, but nothing compared to witnessing it in person. The immense canyon walls and the colors of the rocks left her speechless, feeling tiny in the presence of such natural wonder. Cynical. Lately, Alex had been feeling more cynical about people's intentions. When a colleague offered to help with his project, he couldn't shake the thought that they had some ulterior motive. Are they really being kind, or do they want something in return? He wondered, struggling to trust their sincerity. Despondent. After a series of setbacks, Emma felt completely despondent. Nothing seemed to go right, no matter how hard she tried. It was as if she was trapped in a storm of bad luck, and she couldn't see a way out. All she wanted was a small glimpse of happiness to lift her spirits again. Gratified. During the team meeting, Jack was pleasantly surprised when his suggestions were well received. He felt gratified that his ideas were not only heard but also appreciated. It was a rewarding experience, knowing that his contributions were valued and respected by his colleagues. Peeved. When Sarah found out she hadn't been invited to a meeting about a project she had been working on for weeks, she was peeved. It felt like a personal slight, and she couldn't help but feel irritated. She tried to brush it off, but the sense of exclusion lingered throughout the day. Contemplative. Michael spent the afternoon sitting by the window, feeling contemplative. He was trying to decide on some major changes in his life, but the uncertainty was overwhelming. What's the right choice? He pondered, hoping he would find the clarity he needed to move forward. Hesitant. Rebecca was hesitant about accepting the job offer. It was a great opportunity, but she wasn't sure if it was the right fit for her. What if I make the wrong decision? She thought, weighing the pros and cons carefully, afraid of making a choice she might regret later. Disgruntled. When Paul found out he wasn't getting the raise he had hoped for, he felt disgruntled. He had worked hard and met all his goals, yet it didn't seem to matter. It was frustrating to see his efforts go unrecognized, and his motivation took a hit as a result. Infuriated. Sophia was infuriated when she was blamed for a mistake she hadn't made. She had double-checked everything, and being accused of something she didn't do felt completely unjust. How could they say that? She fumed, her anger simmering long after the meeting ended. Intrigued. David hadn't started reading the new mystery novel yet, but he was intrigued by all the buzz surrounding it. Everyone seemed to be talking about the unexpected twists and gripping storyline. I wonder if it's as good as they say, he thought, eager to find out for himself. Mortified. During her presentation, Amy tripped over the microphone cable and nearly fell. She was mortified, her face turning bright red as she tried to recover her composure. I can't believe that just happened, she thought, feeling embarrassed and wishing she could just disappear. Appalled. When John heard about the terrible accident on the news, he was appalled. The thought of what those people must have gone through was horrifying. I can't even imagine their pain, he said, shaken by the tragic event and the suffering it had caused. Piqued. After his suggestion was dismissed without a second thought during the meeting, Mark felt piqued. He had put a lot of effort into his idea, and being brushed off like that was frustrating. Did they even listen? He wondered, feeling a sting of resentment. Ecstatic. When Lily received her acceptance letter, she was ecstatic. This was something she had worked so hard for, and seeing her efforts rewarded felt incredible. I can't believe it's finally happening, she thought, her excitement bubbling over as she imagined the new opportunities ahead. Perturbed. The sudden changes in the project deadlines left James feeling perturbed. He had planned everything out, and now he had to adjust his schedule at the last minute. How am I supposed to get everything done now? He worried, unsettled by the unexpected disruption. Embittered. Even after all this time, Maria still felt embittered about how she was treated at her previous job. It was hard to let go of the resentment and anger, especially when she thought about all the effort she had put in. I know I need to move on, she sighed, struggling to shake off the bitterness. Astounded. When Anna heard that her friend had won the contest, she was astounded. No one had expected it, and the news took everyone by surprise. She really did it. Anna thought, amazed by her friend's success and proud of her incredible achievement. Melancholy. As the rain poured outside, Daniel felt a wave of melancholy wash over him. It seemed like everything was covered in a gray shadow, and he couldn't pinpoint why he felt so sad. I hope this feeling passes soon, he thought, longing for the cloud of sadness to lift. Disenchanted. What had once been an exciting job now felt tedious and unfulfilling to Rachel. She was becoming increasingly disenchanted with her work, finding it hard to muster the enthusiasm she once had. Is this really what I want to be doing? She wondered, questioning her future. Apprehensive. As the exam approached, Chris felt more and more apprehensive. He had studied hard, but the fear of forgetting everything under pressure gnawed at him. I just need to stay calm, he told himself, trying to push away the anxiety that kept creeping in. Flustered. With deadlines looming and meetings back to back, Laura felt completely flustered. She was juggling so many things at once that it felt like her mind was spinning. I need to get organized, she thought, overwhelmed by the chaos of her day. Exultant. After winning the championship match, Kevin was exultant. It had been a tough game, but his team had pulled through. We did it, he shouted, thrilled by their victory and proud of everything they had accomplished together. Bitter. Despite knowing it was best to move on, James still felt bitter about how things had ended. He replayed the events in his mind, the sense of unfairness lingering. Why did it have to end like this? He thought, struggling to let go of his resentment. Fretful. With the big presentation looming, Natalie felt fretful. She was worried about everything that could go wrong and kept second-guessing herself. What if I mess up? She thought, her anxiety growing as the day approached. Deflated. After receiving harsh criticism on his project, Tom felt deflated. He had put so much effort into it, and having it picked apart like that was discouraging. I thought I did a good job, he thought sadly, trying to remind himself to take the feedback as an opportunity to improve. Irked. During the afternoon meeting, Emily felt increasingly irked by how long it was dragging on. The team kept rehashing the same points without making any real decisions. She glanced at the clock, thinking about all the work she could have been doing instead of being stuck in a never-ending discussion. I hope they get better at managing time, she muttered to herself, frustrated by the wasted hours. Bewildered. After his conversation with his boss, Alex was completely bewildered. His boss had used several vague phrases that Alex couldn't make sense of. What did he mean by thinking outside the box on this project? Alex wondered, trying to decipher the instructions he had received. He felt lost and unsure of what his next steps should be. Placated. When Mark heard about the sudden changes to the project, he was furious. It felt like all his hard work was being undermined. However, after a lengthy discussion with his manager, he started to feel placated. The manager explained the reasons behind the changes, and Mark finally understood that it wasn't a personal attack on his work. He left the meeting feeling much calmer. Enraged. When Jenny found out that her colleague had been spreading false rumors about her, she was enraged. She stormed into his office, demanding an explanation. "How could you do this to me?" she shouted, unable to control her anger. It was hard to believe someone she thought she could trust would act so maliciously. Entranced. At the ballet performance last night, Oliver was entranced. He couldn't take his eyes off the dancers as they moved gracefully across the stage. It felt like they were telling a beautiful story without words, and he was completely captivated by every movement. This is magical, he thought, mesmerized by the performance. Tense. Rachel had been feeling tense all week due to the approaching deadlines at work. Every day seemed like a race against the clock, and she was constantly worried about falling behind. I need to find a way to manage this stress, she thought, rubbing her shoulders to ease the tightness that had built up. Reluctant. Tom was still reluctant to accept the new position his boss had offered him. It was a big step up, but he wasn't sure if he was ready for such responsibility. What if I fail? He thought, torn between wanting to seize the opportunity and fearing he might not be able to handle it. Depleted. After a week of working late nights, Sophia felt completely depleted. She had been pushing herself to finish a major project, relying on coffee and sheer willpower. Now, with the deadline behind her, she could barely keep her eyes open. I need a break, she thought, feeling utterly drained. Humbled. When Paul received the award for his volunteer work, he felt humbled. He never expected to be recognized for what he considered just doing his part. There are so many people who deserve this more than I do, he thought, feeling a deep sense of gratitude and appreciation for the support he had received. Reassured. Before the big interview, Sarah was feeling anxious and unsure of herself. But after a long talk with her best friend, she felt reassured. Her friend reminded her of all the preparation she had done and encouraged her to trust in her abilities. I can do this, Sarah thought, her confidence renewed. Envious. When Julia saw her friend's new apartment, she felt a little envious. It was spacious and beautifully decorated, exactly the kind of place Julia had always dreamed of. I'm happy for her, but I wish I could afford something like this, she thought, trying to push away the pang of jealousy. Discontent. Ever since the new policies were implemented at work, John had been feeling discontent. The changes seemed rushed and didn't take into account the concerns of the employees. Why didn't they ask for our input? He wondered, frustrated by how disconnected the management seemed from the reality on the ground. Scornful. When Emma heard about the new project, her response was scornful. She didn't believe it would succeed and dismissed it as a waste of time. Why are we even bothering with this? She scoffed, completely disregarding the excitement and hope of her colleagues. Aggravated. With all the construction noise outside his apartment, David felt constantly aggravated. He couldn't focus on his work, and the relentless drilling was driving him crazy. I need to find a quieter place to work, he grumbled, his patience wearing thin. Uneasy. As the day of her flight approached, Laura felt increasingly uneasy. She had always been nervous about flying, and the thought of being on a plane for hours made her stomach churn. I know it's safe, but I can't help feeling scared, she admitted, wishing she could calm her nerves. Astounded. Watching the magician perform, Peter was astounded. The tricks seemed impossible, and he couldn't figure out how they were done. How did he do that? He kept asking himself, amazed by the seemingly supernatural feats happening right in front of him. Proud. After seeing his daughter perform in the school play, Michael felt incredibly proud. She had worked so hard to memorize her lines and delivered them perfectly. That's my girl, he thought, his heart swelling with pride at her accomplishment. Rattled. The sudden loud crash in the middle of the night left Emily feeling rattled. She jumped out of bed, her heart racing, wondering what had happened. What was that? She whispered, her hands shaking as she tried to calm down. Flabbergasted. When Lisa heard about her colleague's promotion, she was flabbergasted. It came out of nowhere, and she hadn't seen it coming at all. Wow, that was unexpected, she thought, still trying to process the surprising news. Sorrowful. Hearing about the tragic accident, Sam felt deeply sorrowful. His heart ached for the families affected, and he couldn't stop thinking about their pain. I wish there was something I could do to help, he thought, overwhelmed by the sadness of the situation. Indifferent. During the game, Jake realized he felt completely indifferent about the outcome. He used to be so passionate about his favorite team, but now, he just didn't care. I guess my interests have changed, he thought, surprised by how little the game mattered to him. Devastated. When Lily received the news about her friend's sudden passing, she was devastated. The grief was overwhelming, and she couldn't believe something so terrible had happened. How am I supposed to cope with this? She thought, struggling to come to terms with the loss. Jubilant. After their team won the championship, Alex was jubilant. They had worked so hard for this moment, and the victory felt incredible. We did it. He cheered, celebrating the long-awaited success with his teammates. Exhausted. After pulling an all-nighter to finish his thesis, Ryan was completely exhausted. He could barely keep his eyes open and felt like he could sleep for days. I'm so tired, he thought, collapsing onto his bed, finally able to rest. Nostalgic. As Mia flipped through her old photo albums, she felt nostalgic. Each picture brought back memories of times that felt both distant and close. Those were such good days, she thought, smiling wistfully as she remembered the people and places that were once a big part of her life. Perplexed. Emma was completely perplexed by the new instructions from her supervisor. She had read through them multiple times, but nothing seemed clear. What are they asking us to do? She thought, frustrated by the confusing directions. She decided she would need to ask for clarification tomorrow because she couldn't make sense of it on her own. Content. After a quiet afternoon spent gardening and reading, James felt truly content. The sun was shining, and a gentle breeze moved through the trees. I'm really happy with how things are, he thought, reflecting on his life with a smile. He realized he wouldn't change a thing and felt at peace with everything. Agitated. Samantha couldn't concentrate on her studies because she was so agitated about tomorrow's exam. She kept trying to go over her notes, but anxiety made it impossible to focus. I hope I can calm down by the morning, she thought, her heart racing as she imagined all the things that could go wrong. Sympathetic. When Lily's friend called to talk about her recent struggles, Lily felt very sympathetic. She listened carefully and offered comforting words, hoping they would help even a little. I wish I could do more for her, she thought, genuinely concerned about her friend's well-being. Horrified. John was horrified when he heard about the robbery at the restaurant near his house. He couldn't believe that something so terrifying had happened in such a familiar place. I was just there last week, he thought, still in shock as he read the details of the incident. Puzzled. When the new work schedule was posted, Daniel was puzzled. The changes didn't seem to make any sense, and nobody understood why they were necessary. Why would they do this without any explanation? He wondered, feeling confused and wishing for a bit more clarity from the management. Frustrated. Lisa had been struggling with her art project for days, and nothing seemed to be going right. She felt so frustrated that she wanted to scream. Why can't I get this to look the way I want? She thought, staring at the unfinished piece in front of her. She knew she needed to take a break but couldn't walk away just yet. Grateful. Reflecting on the past few weeks, Tom felt deeply grateful for the support from his family and friends. They had been there for him through a difficult time, and their kindness meant the world to him. I couldn't have managed without them, he thought, his heart filled with appreciation. Suspicious. When Maria received an offer for an extremely high-paying job out of the blue, she felt suspicious. It seemed too good to be true, and she couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. I need to look into this more, she thought, deciding to do some research before making any decisions. Furious. David was absolutely furious when the meeting he had prepared for was cancelled at the last minute. He had rearranged his entire day around it, and now all his efforts felt wasted. How could they be so inconsiderate? He thought, still fuming over the unexpected change. Startled. The sudden loud crash outside startled Olivia, making her jump out of her seat. Her heart was pounding as she peered out the window to see what had happened. That really scared me, she thought, still shaken by the unexpected noise. Ashamed. After losing his temper during a family dinner, Mark felt deeply ashamed. He knew he had overreacted and regretted the harsh words he had said. I shouldn't have let my emotions take over, he thought, feeling embarrassed by his outburst and wishing he could take it all back. Affectionate. Max's dog followed him around all day, curling up next to him on the couch and nudging his hand for pets. He was feeling particularly affectionate, and Max couldn't help but smile. You're such a good boy, he said, scratching behind his dog's ears and feeling grateful for the unconditional love. Impatient. Jessica had been waiting for the concert for months, and now that it was just a week away, she felt so impatient. She kept counting down the days and could hardly think about anything else. I wish it were already here, she thought, excited and unable to wait any longer. Disheartened. After receiving negative feedback on her latest project, Anna felt really disheartened. She had put so much effort into it, only to be told it wasn't good enough. Maybe I'm not cut out for this, she thought, struggling to stay motivated after the disappointing response. Hopeful. After her job interview, Sarah felt hopeful. She thought she had answered the questions well and made a good impression. I really want this job, she thought, feeling optimistic about her chances and excited about the possibility of starting something new. Worried. Michael had been anxiously waiting for his medical test results and felt worried all day. The uncertainty was making it hard for him to focus on anything else. I hope everything's okay, he thought, feeling tense and on edge as he checked his phone for updates every few minutes. Relieved. When Emily finally received the email she had been waiting for, she felt so relieved. The good news lifted a huge weight off her shoulders, and she could finally breathe easy. Thank goodness, she thought, smiling for the first time in days, now that all her worries were gone. Disgusted. At the office party, Adam was disgusted by the food they served. Everything looked unappetizing and smelled strange. He pushed his plate away, unable to eat any of it. How could they serve this to people? He thought, wondering why they hadn't chosen a better catering service. Optimistic. As the new project kicked off, Emma felt optimistic about its success. The team was motivated, and the ideas were flowing. I have a good feeling about this, she thought, confident that with everyone's hard work, they could achieve something great. Embarrassed. When Jack tripped on his way to the stage during the presentation, he felt incredibly embarrassed. He could feel his face turning red as he quickly tried to recover. I hope they forget about this soon, he thought, wishing he could just disappear. Tearful. After watching a touching documentary, Rachel felt tearful. The stories of hardship and resilience moved her deeply, and she found herself on the verge of tears. That was so powerful, she thought, wiping her eyes and feeling a mix of sadness and hope. Insecure. Kevin felt insecure about his upcoming presentation. Despite all his preparation, he still doubted his ability to speak confidently in front of a crowd. What if I mess up? He worried, wishing he felt more sure of himself as the event drew closer. Bored. During the long seminar, Megan was completely bored. The speaker droned on about topics that didn't interest her, and she struggled to stay awake. When will this be over? She thought, barely able to keep her eyes open as she glanced at the clock. Determined. Despite the setbacks she faced, Laura felt more determined than ever to finish her novel. She knew it would be challenging, but she was committed to seeing it through. I won't give up, she thought, feeling a renewed sense of purpose as she sat down to write again.